trying to take bits and pieces from and apply it to your own game?
I can say one for sure that's like right off the top of my head is Jason Tatum. I think he's a very underrated defender, and he's 6'8" wing, kind of 3-and-D for sure. And I mean, one thing he does is he wins too. So I like the fact that he's like, is big on winning and everything, and just the way he models himself pretty much. He works out after games. He gets a cool down. He's a family guy. He has a kid just like me. So like seeing guys like that were in those situations, like him already having a kid going into the NBA, and then being able to manage that family lifestyle by being a good dad, and just being responsible, but also being a really good hooper. I want to be like that. So I think I'm doing a great job right now at it, so I want to continue to do that. I would say he's the biggest one. I try not to do the whole model thing because, everybody wants to be like themselves, but he would be one of the ones I would definitely not mind being.
Good. No, that's a good answer, especially the family aspect.
Yeah.
I do want to ask specifically about your game. Really good shooter. Different parts of shooting are really exceptional. Is there a specific way of shooting, whether it's catch and shoot, in transition, any spot on the floor that you really prefer over another?
I'd say one of the biggest things I would definitely tell people is like there isn't a shot I don't like, but transition.
Okay.
Quick ones.
And then,
I love it.
Did you were you aware that when you were in the portal, how Dennis likes to get up and down? Was that a deciding factor, especially if you like to shoot in transition, especially as Mizzou likes to get up and down?
Absolutely. I mean, I just left a system that was like that. You get it to go. It ain't a play. It ain't a stop and set up. It's like, hey, we're going to pitch it up and you're going to shoot it. And, that's one thing he told me he would like to get back to. He said that was something that they lost last year and having in their system. And, obviously when you talk about it like that and your statistics on that, and when you're getting recruited like that, they do a huge breakdown. So like they were sending me breakdowns of stuff I've never even knew about myself, and he was like, dude, you're like the sixth most efficient player in the whole country. He's like, we need that. Like, he's like, you will thrive here because of that, because that's how we want our system to be, efficient and fast. He's like, you're one of the top in the country, man. And he was like, come here and play. He's like, you'd be in the SEC too as well. And he's like, man, we'd be lucky to have you. And, I was like, man, it was different too because he was prioritizing my family as well, and the whole mix of still putting basketball in. But yeah, transition was a huge deal for me because I love it.
And then even in the half court, when you got guys closing out, you've been improving the depths and attacking the basket and being creative around the rim. Is that a part of your game you like to grow here even more?
Absolutely. That was one of the things that they were talking about too. Like at the rim, I was 70%. That meant on the block or just anywhere around the rim. And that was something that they like to call gold shots, and they want to increase that. They had the percentage of how many I had last year was like 20%. They wanted to be like 30% or something like that. They were just wanting to see more of my efficiency and where I thrive, executed more. So for sure, they talk about it all the time. They give me instances where I'm able to take a little or guard into the post and pretty much do my hook shot that everybody seems to think is like amazing. So, I like to be able to, just execute in many different ways, give everybody a little different option and, a different taste of my game as well.
Coach Gates was telling us the other day that he feels like that you've been one of the best guys this offseason in terms of shot creation and scoring. What kind of goes into that and that part of your game?
Pretty much just, being able to have that mentality that, score first, and understanding that's what he wants you to do. When he gives you the ultimate green light, use it. I think he's made it pretty clear that, if there's a shot I don't take, it's more than likely going to be something he would rather criticize than me taking a shot. And, I've been able to have a little more grace about certain things. If I mess up a one more, or if I do this and I take a shot, that the other guys understand, like, don't go straight at me about it or something like that, because not everybody's the same, and I'm used to taking more of a difficult shot than I am an easier shot, just because the way I'm guarded. So I think just understanding that, it makes it a lot easier for me.
From a team perspective, what do you feel like is kind of the identity that's forming, in the offseason for what this team is going to be?
Tough, physical, and disruptive, for sure. They preach it to us. That's one thing we have to do. That's the one thing we need to do if we want to make it to the national championship or Sweet 16 or Elite Eight. It doesn't matter. Like, if we want to make it far or just win our conference, that's what we have to do to be successful. We have to be tough. We have to be disruptive. And I think everybody understands that, and we're starting to kind of mold pretty quickly into it, because I think there's a lot of things we're doing that other teams in this country aren't doing. And I think a lot of people are going to be very surprised on what Mizzou's doing right now and what we're going to have to bring to the table.
You mentioned, you feel like you guys are doing some things that maybe some other teams aren't. Kind of take me into what some of those things are, that you feel like, we're going to give you guys a leg up or an advantage this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing we're doing, like I said, in the way we're preaching tough, physical, disruptive, is we have level 5. All right, level 5 means you're doing everything at the absolute max level. That means communication. That means the way you're getting to your spots on defense, the way you're getting to your spots on offense, the way you're getting into offense. You want to do it at the max level at all times. There is no breaks, and I think understanding that and being called out about it and having to start over again and again and again, I don't think people are doing that. I think people are, hey, it's okay. Like, we don't think it's okay. We understand that, man, we have a goal we're trying to reach, and we want to win, and he brought guys in that want to win and understand that. So, like, when you see each other take accountability and look at each other and hold each other to a certain standard, I think we do that better than any team in the country. I think we understand what it takes to win. We have a lot of guys who win and played at great programs coming in, and a lot of great young guys that were highly touted that are going to mold into great players as well with the guys that are older. So I think we have a lot of bits and pieces that a lot of teams in the country don't have. And we're going to mold them together, and it's just going to be a very dangerous team.
Do you feel like that's kind of just like been the recipe for just like, having a winning mentality, not just, at game time, but also, every day that you guys hit the gym or, are out here at practice?
Absolutely, because you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching. And level 5 is in practice. So, like, what you're going to see in a game is totally different. We understand that you're going to have 15,000, 10,000 plus fans in the arena. It isn't high school anymore, and it isn't mid-major like some of us have seen. Like, we're going to be in packed arenas with loud, crazy fans that love their school, and sometimes you ain't going to be able to hear anything. So understanding what level 5 is and executing it, that's what's going to put us, over teams.
And then finally, what has just been, from your perspective, do you feel like the transition that you've made, going from UT Martin to, here, what's kind of been that transition like, and how have you kind of adapted to it?
Right, yeah. No, definitely different. I'd be lying if I said it was smooth. It definitely hasn't been, but it hasn't, like, I would say the differences is little details. Understanding that it isn't like, oh man, am I going to fit? No, it's like, all right, I have to be here. I have to do this. This rotation has to be this fast. Like, understanding that just being half a second off is a game changer. Not being at that rotation, not closing out with high hands or jumping to the ball. Like, certain things that you have to understand are taken so much more serious at this level with whoever's watching, pros or you never know. So, like, understanding that everything you do has a purpose. And that means for winning, because that's how this program is, molded to be. So I think that's one thing I've had to take. Don't just stand up one play and be lazy. Like, you have to be locked in at all times, or next person's up. And when you understand that, it gives you a different feel, gives you a different motivation. Also, like, at this level, some guys at mid-major play teams like this 3, 2, maybe 4 times a year. I get up every morning and practice against this level. So you're changing every day, even when you don't think you are. And I think that's with the knowledge, film, and then obviously the physicality. I think that's a game changer for me.